First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Well, good morning to you and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. It's Wednesday, March 4th. We're so glad you've decided to join us here on the show. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. It doesn't feel like March 4th because it is so warm.
That is so true. It's feeling spring-like, dare I say, a little summery as well.
Yes, we, especially later this week, actually have potential for some pop-up showers.
Okay.
Much like we would see on a summer day. Now, they're not going to be big-time summer thunderstorms, but we could see a couple of rain showers. We desperately need the rain, but the overall weather pattern is warm and quiet.
I was going to say we've been pretty dry.
Yes, warm. Yeah, it is. We have been quite dry, and that's kind of the problem. Our Eastern Shore Toyota camera network showing you the views here. 74 degrees right now in D'Iberville, 75 in Orange Beach, 76 in Mobile. Look at the flags here at Battleship Memorial Park. They're blowing pretty decently. We have some decent wind out there today. Then when you look down at the beach, you see verification of this with the shaking of the camera and also the rougher conditions out there. Remember, your water temperatures are in the middle 60s, so it's really quite cool. Not the best time to get in the water, and you have some slightly rougher conditions out there today. Moderate risk of rip currents. Temperatures here near 70 degrees. Not near 80, but near 70 because of those cooler water temperatures. 3-day beach forecast. Just got this updated. 2 feet, 2 to 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet as we go through Friday. In the mornings, you'll be dealing with fog, then partly to mostly cloudy in the afternoons there down at the beach. Big headlines, staying very warm in the near term and really through the next 7 to 10 day period. Dense fog is possible each and every morning this week. Patchy, but it's there. And then also that chance of very, very widely scattered showers. No big substantial rain chances for us. This afternoon, your temperatures away from the coast near 80 or in the low 80s. Closer to the coast, you're in the 70s. Overnight tonight, a very mild night with the potential of the fog developing once again. Also, we have high humidity in place that leads to some of that fog potential. And notice the numbers going up as we go through the week here still. Friday, 69 for our Muggy Meter dew point, and then 68 on Saturday, 68 on Sunday. That is really close to our muggy category. Rain chances will go up when we get to those moisture levels, only though around 20 to 30%. After the 7-day period, we could see some more active weather. I have a long range forecast and a look at the regional outlook as well, which is quite interesting. I'll have details on that coming up.
All right, Nick, thank you. And first in our headlines today, a deadly wreck involving a police officer shutting down Lott Road at John Paul Road this morning. Investigators say the accident happened just before 6 a.m. and involved a Sims police vehicle and a small truck. Sims Police Chief Todd Friend says the Sims officer sustained severe injuries to his leg, and the identity of both drivers will not be released at this time. Aaliyah was on scene this morning and is conducting the accident investigation. When we learn more, we will let you know on air and online at fox10tv.com. In the meantime, continuing coverage today after an early morning fire destroys a home in Mobile. Mobile Fire Rescue responding to that fire just before 4 a.m. at a home on Bay Road, that's right off Dauphin Island Parkway. When they got there, flames were visible and the house was fully involved. Thankfully, nobody was injured, but an investigation here is also underway to determine the cause.
They came in at about 3:42 this morning. Crews arrived on scene. The house was fully involved. I mean, the entire structure was lit up. They laid lines in. The residential neighbor called them in and told them that it was burning. We surrounded the homes with lines at that time, put the structure out. Right now they're still continuing, as you can see, to put out hot spots. The only problem we ran into was mostly condensed with the fog and everything in the area. It made it a little bit harder to see. From what I understand, that the resident got out through a window and he went to a neighbor's house, so we did check him out to make sure he was okay.
And when we learn more information here, we'll bring that to you on air and again online at fox10tv.com. And right this moment, the search continues for a missing fisherman. According to the Coast Guard, Travis White, who's from Georgia, did not return from a fishing trip on Monday afternoon. Coast Guard officials say his boat was found north of the Dauphin Island Bridge yesterday. Officials say White's cell phone, fishing poles, a camouflage jacket were also on the boat, but there's been no sign of White himself. The Coast Guard is asking boaters to keep a lookout, and if you see something, call them right away. Well, April Oliva appearing by video from the Santa Rosa County Jail for a pretrial detention hearing. She's accused of murdering her 6-year-old daughter. According to statements filed by the state attorney's office, investigators say the child, Valerie, was found with 40 stab wounds, twice the number previously estimated. Assistant State Attorney Mark Alderman says Oliva's public defender wants to have her mentally evaluated to determine her level of competency. He says at this point, though, evidence is still being gathered and reviewed. Oliva is currently being held without bond in jail, charged with murder. In the meantime, the family friend says there will not be a funeral for Valerie. However, they are putting together a private celebration of life in her honor. And listen to this, a body-worn camera may have saved the life of a deputy in Florida. Volusia County Deputy Jose Rivera and trainee deputy Jacob Gomez Lopez were investigating a matter in DeLand when a man with a gun emerged. Several shots were fired, including one that struck Rivera's body-worn camera. He did suffer some injuries, but none appear to be life-threatening. The suspect was taken into custody and is being held without bond on a pair of counts of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. What a wild story there. Well, in Iran today, the U.S. and Israel are stepping up attacks on regime targets. While Iran vows to cause, quote, the complete destruction of the region's military and economic infrastructure, their airstrikes are targeting American bases and oil facilities in neighboring countries. But as Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor shares, the Pentagon says things are about to get a whole lot worse for the Iranian regime.
The Pentagon says more American military assets are on the way to the Middle East as the conflict with Iran intensifies. America is winning the war. That's the message from Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth. He says the U.S. and Israel now have almost complete control over the skies of Iran, and America is still ramping up its military presence as Iranian reprisals continue.
We are just getting started. We are accelerating, not decelerating. More bombers and more fighters are arriving just today.
Hegseth also confirmed an American submarine took out an Iranian vessel in international waters.
It was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II.
But that's not stopping Iran from moving ahead with the election of a new supreme leader. The son of the late Ayatollah Khamenei is reportedly emerging as a leading candidate. Experts say that would be a big victory for hardliners.
This is a heinous personality. He also has his own record of human rights abuses.
And here on Capitol Hill, the partisan back and forth continues. Republicans pushing back on suggestions from Democrats that there was no justification for a preemptive strike.
There was no imminent threat against the American people, against American facilities or persons.
Democrats have less credibility on national security issues than grade school kids.
And later today, we'll see how much congressional support President Trump has for this mission. A vote is scheduled in the Senate that could limit his ability to keep striking Iran. On Capitol Hill, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And because of that conflict, thousands of Americans are leaving the Middle East as fighting between Israel and Iran expands all the way across the region. President Trump says the war unfolded too quickly to have an evacuation plan in place, but the State Department is now facilitating charter flights and ground transportation. And one group from Redemption Church in Saraland is on their own way home after surviving missile attacks and explosions in Israel. They left Mobile last Saturday for a biblical tour. Pastor Ed Litton tells us the group was leaving their hotel in Jerusalem when sirens blared, alarms sounded, and everything shut down. Suddenly, as Pastor Litton describes it, they were stuck in the middle of a war. At one stop in Mount Carmel, the group rushed into a small church, huddling together, praying and singing as explosions echoed all around them. For the next 48 hours, they sheltered in their hotel in Jerusalem as those blasts and rockets rocketed the area. Now, Pastor Litton calls the group courageous and is now asking the community to pray for a swift end to the war. Meanwhile, Pradeep Patel has pleaded not guilty and has been ordered detained pending trial. The illegal immigrant from India accused of defrauding a Fairhope couple. Prosecutors allege that Patel remained unlawfully in the United States after his visa expired and persuaded the victims to buy gold bars to protect their bank account from hackers. The couple went to several locations in the area to withdraw money to wire $190,000 to a company to purchase the gold, according to a criminal complaint. The judge now setting Patel's trial for May. And a Dauphin Island man yesterday pleading guilty to murder in the death of his girlfriend in 2024. Jeremy Lewis admitted that he killed Casey Fulford at a home on Chenot Avenue. According to court records, the couple had dated for about 10 years and lived together. Police originally responded to a call of a murder-suicide. When they arrived, they found Fulford had been shot multiple times, and they arrested Lewis. A judge sentencing Lewis to 25 years in prison. It's 11:10 now, still to come right here on Fox 10 Midday. Chris Burns with Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors is back with us to talk about the stock market and retirement, a conversation you don't want to miss. But first, Nick, a quiet, warm Wednesday ahead for this week.
Yeah, and your catnap forecast for today, it is warm once again this afternoon, but sunny, maybe nice to chillax a little bit. This is Kissa, submitted by McKenna Cousins. Thank you for submitting your photos. If you want your photo, the catnap forecast submitted on the Fox 10 weather app. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. Today, the stock market has been hovering near all-time highs, and for many investors, that feels great as long as things keep moving up and to the right. But for retirees, it's not always that simple. Joining us now this morning is financial advisor Chris Burns to talk about with us this morning. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you back on the show today. Here's the big question. What is the right amount of risk in retirement?
Well, you don't want to hear this, but it truly depends on what you're trying to do. If these are dollars that you're not using day in and day out for income, you can certainly maybe take a little bit longer term approach and focus more on growth. The follow-up to that is what type of account is it? Right? You would want to be more aggressive in your tax-free accounts versus your taxable accounts. So it's all about, one, understanding the risk, but where is it in proportion to your portfolios?
Yeah, good to know there. You know, that word risk can sound pretty scary, especially once the paycheck stops coming in for those folks.
Absolutely.
So how should retirees be thinking about risk?
And you're right about that. My client's biggest fear is, Chris, look, I've run this race my entire life. I finally crossed the finish line. I'm now retired. What do I do now? That's scary, right? Especially when there's no longer checks coming in. You've said, hey, I'm going to take it from here. The biggest advice that I can give those individuals is understand how much risk you have in your portfolio. I'm not saying are you conservative, moderate, or aggressive. I'm saying what is the percent of risk you have proportionate to an index like the S&P 500, and then that data right there will help you make some much better decisions that are non-emotional. Because being emotional inside retirement with your own dollars is a recipe for failure.
Good reminder there, I think, regardless of your age and demographic, for sure. You know, right now in the month of March with markets near highs, should retirees be especially cautious?
So I think retirees should always be cautious when it comes to their retirement, but I also think that they should kind of divvy it up in the buckets too. These are dollars that I plan on using in the next 1 to 3 years. These are dollars that I'm planning on using maybe over the next 5 to 10 years. And maybe these are dollars that I'm either never going to use, or I'm using for maybe healthcare later on in life, or I want to pass this to the next generation, right? Like my emergency fund type stuff. Each one of those tranches of dollars should be invested slightly different. And so when I say invested slightly different, they should also carry slightly different risk.
Okay, good to know there. There are some rules of thumb that people use, like 100 minus your age for stock allocation, or of course the classic, 60-40 portfolio. Do those still work now?
It's a good starting point, but the problem with it is it's not personalized. Every household that we sit down with has different goals, needs, and wants. I think it is an incredible starting point, but from there, it's going to have to deviate to help answer your individual questions or goals with your retirement.
So bottom line, would you say the right amount of risk really depends on the individual person?
It should depend on each individual person, but the other thing that I would recommend is that if you actually sit down and take a look at risk, you shouldn't have the same amount of risk across all of your portfolios, because portfolios are taxed differently. You should have different layers of risk depending on how the portfolio is taxed, because that'll help you maximize those dollars inside retirement.
Very good. I know that's what you guys and your team are here for. If people are listening into this interview today and this is really speaking to them, how can you guys help?
I think in this day and age, the easiest way to contact us is on our website, burnsestatePlanning.com. It'll give you a lot of great resources. It'll also give you some great information so that when you do make that call or sit down with us, you can come prepared with what that first or second meeting is going to look like.
Wonderful. Well, Chris, again, thank you so much for being here today. If you'd like to learn more, we'll have this full interview and a link with Burns posted on our website at fox10tv.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Outside right now at Pensacola Beach, you notice a little rougher surf. There's a few more waves, but also more people out there wanting to be careful. Understand that your water temperatures are in the middle 60s. You're probably not getting in the water. We have that moderate risk of rip currents in place. Few clouds out there, but really not a bad day to be out along the beach there. Nice conditions. Warm, quiet spring-like. That's been our forecast deal for us over the past couple of days, and it's going to continue through the rest of this week. However, later on this week, we do introduce some chance of widely scattered rain showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. We are not expecting any major significant high rainfall amounts, though, as we go through the next 7 days. Your next 10 hours in Mobile, temperatures soaring all the way up to near 80 degrees with partly to mostly sunny conditions. Then the evening time, temperatures dropping through the 70s and the 60s. It should be a very nice evening to be outside. We have mostly sunny conditions expected in Pensacola through the afternoon as well. Then this evening, notice a few more clouds showing up in the planner here. Also, that is some low cloud cover and fog that is expected to develop. We are expecting some fog overnight tonight. Your temperatures for this afternoon in Mississippi, Van Cleve at 80 degrees this afternoon, 82 in Lucedale, 83 in Leakesville. Our inland communities, some of the warmest spots. You're away from the coast and you have the opportunity to really soar in temperature. That's why you see places like Fruitdale, Chatham, and McIntosh at 83 degrees, Coffeyville at 83 as well. Jackson 83, Grove Hill 83, 82 in Thomasville, 81 in places like Bruton and Atmore. In Northwest Florida, folks close to the coast will be mostly in the 70s, low 70s closest to the coast in places like Fort Walton Beach and Destin at 71, 72. But then away from the coast, it is a little warmer, and that's the same thing that applies here for Mobile and Baldwin counties. 82 Mount Vernon, 81 Citronelle. Meanwhile, 77 in Fairhope, 74 Gulf Shores. Here's that fog development overnight tonight. This is our enhanced fog futurecast. We put the colors on here so you can see where the densest fog is, and the purple colors is where that densest fog is likeliest to happen. So be careful, especially as we start our Thursday morning. For your morning commute, that fog might be a little more widespread than, say, it was last night. Here's your futurecast this afternoon. We're doing just fine. Then as we go through the overnight hours, fog develops. Thursday morning, we have that fog around. Then that fog goes away. In the afternoon, it's a mostly sunny picture, but we could see just a couple of isolated rain showers. We have around a 10 to 20% chance of rain there. Then on Friday morning, the fog happens once again. Down at the beach, we'll have foggy mornings for sure. Also, southerly winds pick up in the afternoon, a moderate risk of rip currents there. Here's tomorrow's wind forecast for Gulf Shores. You see those wind gusts around 20 miles per hour. Southerly flow continues in our forecast through the end of the week. That means rain chances, as you can see here, high moisture values, so a couple of isolated showers cannot be ruled out. But the most active weather will be off to our west. We have a ridge of high pressure locally. They will have multiple storm systems rolling through, so they have some high rainfall totals over in the central part of the country. We simply do not. Now, your 10-day forecast, we're going to keep an eye on Wednesday and Thursday of next week for our next bigger rain chance. But for now, it is just isolated to scattered showers as we head into this weekend.
Thank you, Nick. It's 11:21 on your Wednesday now. Artificial intelligence is shaping the future of the restaurant business, but most of it is happening behind the scenes. We take a look after this. Welcome back. AI is reshaping a lot, especially the restaurant industry. And as Fox Business correspondent Lydia Hu reports, the true transformation is largely happening behind the scenes.
More restaurants are leaning into AI. According to the National Restaurant Association, 26% of restaurant operators say they're using artificial intelligence-related tools, with another 25 to 26% testing it out.
We're struggling to find people. The male workforce is declining in America, as we know, so finding employees is difficult. So AI is a great way to provide efficiency and streamline operations.
Restaurants are using AI to improve customer experience, like app and kiosk ordering, inventory management using predictive analytics to reduce waste, marketing, and operational benefits. AI assists with staffing shortages, inventory forecasting, and back-of-house tasks.
AI in the back of the house is a powerful, powerful asset for us. It can save us considerable dollars.
Customers are increasingly getting more comfortable using tech to place their orders. A majority of Gen Z adults are open to food delivery by robots or drones. Here we are. Roughly 6 in 10 millennials and Gen Z adults say they would place an order with an AI-generated bot. Bar Rescue host John Taffers says he's holding off on putting AI in the front of house at his Taffers Taverns.
I don't want you interacting with the machine. I want you interacting with people. I think that connectivity is very important. But all of my AI is back of the house. We manage inventory. We manage order process. We track ticket times. We track all of these incentives. We can track labor costs down to the moment.
As far as robotic bartenders go, Taffer says their drink-making skills are consistent and that the next generation of bartender bots have screens with personalities that can be fun to interact with.
I would consider using one in the back of the house. But if it had a neat personality and it had a connective element to it, it could be fun.
Many chains are adopting or testing drive-through voice automation. Taco Bell adopted voice AI at its drive-thrus in 2024, but had to rethink the tech last year after inconsistent performance. McDonald's used voice AI at its drive-thrus through a partnership with IBM, but ended the deal in 2024 after 3 years. The chain says it plans to use more artificial intelligence across its system in the near future. In New York, Lydia Hu, Fox Business.
Straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, Starbucks is bringing corporate offices to Tennessee. That story and much more in your business headlines. Plus, construction of the new Mobile Arena is moving right along. Take a look there. A major milestone was just celebrated. We will take you there in just a moment. But first, Nick, how's it looking behind you?
Yeah, this is our Orange Beach camera, part of our Eastern Shore Toyota camera network. And we see some rougher surf out there and also some cool water temperatures. That is therefore keeping the temperatures of the air just a bit cooler, near 70 degrees. Nice day to walk along the beach, though. Quick reminder for you, beach flags, very important as we head into spring break season. We'll have a full look at the forecast coming up.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your headlines at the half hour today. First, the arraignment for Devin Jeffrey is postponed until tomorrow morning. He's accused of shooting 5 people in downtown Mobile on the night of Joe Cain Day. Jeffrey's lawyer says his client was not there, though. Jeffrey now faces 5 counts of assault. We'll keep you updated as this case moves forward. And Southwest Airlines says it's addressing concerns about its new boarding process. Some passengers say it's hard to find bin space given new baggage fees and assigned seats. In an email to customers, Southwest says it's revamping the boarding process for traffic flow and also upgrading to larger storage, even offering labeled bins to customers who pay a little extra. The airline says it's open to future tweaks, but says its new business model is going pretty well overall. And finally, a popular barbecue sauce is being recalled due to undeclared allergens. A notice by the Food and Drug Administration says Savannah Bee Company, behind me, is recalling its 16 fluid-ounce honey barbecue sauce mustard due to undeclared wheat and soy. The FDA says a customer notified the company that its honey barbecue sauce sweet, which does contain wheat and soy, was mislabeled as honey barbecue sauce mustard. The recalled sauce has a best before date of May 16, 2027, but the FDA says no illnesses have been reported in connection with the recall so far. Consumers who did purchase this product are urged to get rid of it and request a full refund. In our business news today, Brent crude, the global benchmark for oil, is higher again. Starbucks is bringing corporate offices to the state of Tennessee, and mortgage rates hit a near 4-year low. Here's Fox's CJ Papa with a look at today's Fox Business Briefs.
Crude oil prices have been rising since Saturday, though the Wall Street Journal says American frackers are not rushing to pump more oil. Analysts say it makes little sense to the oil industry in West Texas to add expensive rigs and boost production when the war could be short-lived and crude prices could drop. companies are not likely to add new rigs unless oil prices hold between $75 and $85 a barrel for several months.
If you look at oil stocks, which really are projecting out the future, they've moved like 1%. So that says to me that the market's expecting this to be more of like a short-term spike.
Starbucks is opening a Nashville office and will relocate some supply chain operations. The company says Seattle remains its North American and global headquarters, though it plans to open the new Nashville office later this year as part of its efforts to expand in the U.S. And mortgage rates remained close to the 6% mark last week as measured by the Mortgage Bankers Association. The average for a 30-year fixed rate held at 6.09%. Applications for home buying and refinancing both increased. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Weather time at 11:34, and you're looking at Fairhope Pier. A very nice time to be outside. Love to walk along the pier along the eastern shore today. See a few folks out there right now. The flag's not blowing too much. We do have some wind out there today. That'll continue over the next couple of days, and down at the beach there is a moderate risk of rip currents. Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network with the views. A couple things to look at here. First of all, you see a little bit more wind from our Battleship Memorial Park camera. Traffic's flowing smoothly here on Interstate 10, which is good to see. Downtown Mobile. Looking off to the south and east, you see some puffy cumulus clouds starting to develop there. We encourage you to submit your weather pictures and photos, videos, all of that stuff on the Fox 10 Weather app. You hit to the homepage and scroll down so you can submit those pictures and videos. It is an easy process when you see cool things like this. This is a SpaceX launch from this morning. Launched off the coast of Cape Canaveral, Florida, the Space Coast, and the Falcon 9 rocket went up and up the east coast there. And of course, the vapor trail behind that is very, 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 very high in the sky, way up in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and it leaves a cloud behind it. Therefore, when we get the rising sunlight hits the cloud first before it hits the ground. So all we see is the illuminated cloud. Nubia sent this one in from Gulf Breeze, an amazing view. This is a view from Foley. Christine sent it in, and this is a little earlier in the morning when it looks cooler because the sky is darker, but you can only see that bright cloud. It is such an awesome thing, actually called a noctilucent cloud. So thank you for sending those photos in. No, it was not an alien invasion. It was just a SpaceX launch, but it was very, very cool to see. Now, some nice views from Orange Beach. You can see 73 degrees. A lot of folks out there enjoying the conditions. A little bit of a stronger wind. Temperatures generally near the 70s at the coast, closer to 80 degrees if you go inland. That is going to be the deal as we go through this afternoon, with temperatures getting up to around 80 degrees. Dew points are up there in the 60s. That is humid enough to feel it. And you'll notice the humidity as we go to the overnight hours, with fog developing as well. Southeast winds, southerly winds continue over the next 5 days. And our 48-hour futurecast here shows a couple things. The fog developing with southerly flow and high moisture levels. There you go in that grayness. This is overnight tonight into our Thursday morning. Thursday morning, widespread fog to start off. Could be dense in some locations. Then Thursday afternoon, some fog lingering near the coast, or at least some low cloud cover with temperatures near 80 degrees for many locations. Can't rule out an isolated shower. Then on Friday morning, more fog, could be dense in some locations. And then Friday, the possibility of a few scattered rain showers. Our rain chances are not exceptionally high, though, locally. You're looking at the rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. Look off to our west. An incredible amount of rain expected there. We have a ridge of high pressure over us locally, but all the storm systems happen to our west. So marginal slight risk of severe weather to our west for today. Tomorrow, another one for Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, and Friday, another risk of severe weather there, all the way up to enhanced. So something to look at there off to our west. We are not expecting that anytime soon. For us, it's 80s and spring-like weather.
Hey, we'll take it, Nick. Thank you. Well, the new Mobile Arena is slowly taking shape, and the project hit a major milestone. City leaders celebrated the official topping out of the arena, a century-old construction tradition. Mobile Mayor Spiro Charigatis partners signed a steel beam before it was hoisted to the top of the structure. And this marks the completion of vertical construction and actually the halfway point of the project overall.
The entirety of the roof structure will be done over the next week or so. As you see the brick walls going up behind me, they're going up think we'll have 3 sides done in the next couple of days. It's amazing the speed at which this team is working.
And once it's finished, the arena will open up new possibilities for sports and entertainment in Mobile. One of the biggest attractions, the return of professional hockey. I know lots of folks are excited about this. Andrew Kaufman with Zoyer Sports says the new team's name has been chosen, but the official announcement won't come until June. The team will start playing in October 2027, and we'll keep you updated on everything you need to know here. In the meantime, Sarah Wall is taking a look at that arena construction, the timeline for the completion of the project, and much more on the impact city officials say the arena will have once it's done. In Depth with Sarah Wall, new downtown arena, is available for you now to watch on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. You can also watch live at 9 a.m. during the weekday. Well, the Mobile City Council passed 4 resolutions aimed at clearing debris and improving stormwater flow across the city. Crews will start work in District 1, clearing vegetation from Ralston Road to Airport Boulevard and along the Interstate 65 service road. In District 2, cleanup is scheduled for Center Street and Spring Hill Avenue to reduce standing water. And in District 7, workers will clear West Haven Drive to help prevent future flooding. City officials said keeping drainage systems clear is one of the most effective ways to protect homes and neighborhoods during heavy rainfall, something very important here on the Gulf Coast. Well, the Lady Leopards are 1 win away from a Blue Map trophy after a strong performance against Glencoe, defeating the Yellow Jackets 55-42 in the 3A state semifinal at Legacy Arena. Junior star Hadley Kelly continued her dominant tournament run. The 6'1" center finished with 19 points, 18 rebounds, and 6 blocks. Kelly made national headlines last week as well after setting an AHSAA record with 23 blocked shots in the regional final. With Kelly protecting the paint, Mobile Christian held Glencoe to just 25% shooting. The Leopards also forced 14 turnovers and turned defense into offense down the stretch. Now the Yellow Jackets closed the gap late, but Kai Wright responded with back-to-back layups to keep control.
Super excited. We did it. We got 1 more to go. The girls were tremendous. They followed the game plan. They executed the game plan. The scouting report to a T. We had a little drought in the 3rd quarter, the beginning of the 4th. I think we were running out of gas a little bit, but our girls just, kept the same mentality that we've been doing all year. Next play, being selfless. And we're just super excited.
I'm sure. Mobile Christian now advances to the 3A state championship game. The Leopards will face top-ranked St. James Friday afternoon at 12:30 p.m. sharp in Birmingham. And today, the Saraland Spartans boys basketball team is taking on the Oxford Yellow Jackets in the 6A semifinals. Saraland is 28-7 on the season, Oxford 28-4. Tip-off from Birmingham is set for 1:30. The winner plays either Calera or Coleman for the Blue Map. And listen to this, a plan to build a Hall of Fame dedicated to Mobile's most accomplished athletes continues to move forward. Mobile City Council approving $500,000 for this. Right now, the Mobile Sports Hall of Fame exists only on the internet. The interactive exhibits will highlight a wide variety of sports from football and baseball to sailing even. The council vote moves the money from one account to another, and next week the council could approve the contract with the Mobile Sports Hall of Fame. Officials from the Hall of Fame say installation could take about 18 months. It's 11:42. Thanks for staying with us here on Fox 10 Midday. It is about lunchtime now, and Chick-fil-A changes its recipe to a favorite side dish. Again, we've got the details for you. Plus, in today's Does It Work, we are testing out a product that claims to dry out wet boots or gloves. Those stories and so much more on the other side. Do you ever find yourself with damp shoes or gloves, but you don't want to hear them knocking around in the dryer and you're worried leaving them outside could leave them ruined?
We're testing out the Silent Boot Dryer from JobSite.
The makers claim it can help keep some of your gear warm and odor-free.
Here's Rachel Hackbarth with this week's Does It Work?
This is the $41.99 JobSite Silent Boot Dryer. The makers claim that this silently dries your shoes, gloves, or even socks of all materials, keeping your items warm, odor-free, and leaving no damage behind.
Working out in the yard, too, a lot of times if the grass is dewy, my shoes get a little wet.
What do you typically do if your shoes get wet or something or dewy? Do you just kind of sit them outside or set them outside?
Yeah, just let them dry on their own.
This device doesn't have a fan or motor, just a convection heater that we need to put together.
All right, so here it shows the way we are supposed to be putting it together. So we've got our base. This goes up here. The holes are out.
The boot dryer takes longer to heat up than it does to put together, 15 minutes.
Now it says to switch on the power by pressing the power switch. Oh, there is some heat coming out of this one.
Even though we feel heat, that doesn't mean our boots will dry instantly. The instructions say wet shoes take 12 hours to dry. If they're damp, it's 8 hours.
I didn't want to put too much.
All right, so they're safe to say they're damp.
They're wet inside.
Because of that long wait time, we had to take our Does It Work product back to the news station with us. An hour later, we did find the boots are dry. So what does Becky think? She says it works, it is silent, and does dry wet and damp items. She just wishes it was a little faster. For Does It Work, I'm Rachel Hackbarth.
I put everything in the dryer. I accidentally put my car key in the dryer. Don't do that. That's really loud.
Stick them outside in the sun. They'll be fine. Anyways.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, attention Chick-fil-A lovers. Chick-fil-A has changed a fan favorite menu item once again.
So pea starch has been removed from the restaurant's waffle fries.
The change comes after customers online complained about the flavor and texture.
The fast food chain added pea starch as an ingredient back in 2024.
The goal was to make their waffle fries stay a little crispier longer.
The ingredient list has now been updated online. You know what?
What?
Now that I think about this, maybe there was a difference. I don't know.
I think the waffle fry has always been delicious. No complaints from me personally. I'm a Chick-fil-A fan, tried and true.
Maybe I'm just remembering differently, but
so
I feel like they were crispier
now?
before.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. I eat a lot of Chick-fil-A.
When did they change this, they said?
2024 was when the pea starch was introduced, and then now it's
that's so interesting. I can't really tell a difference, but if they're crispier, pretty cool there. Love a good crispy fry. If you think you had a hard time waking up this morning.
These bears at the Wisbane Zoo in the UK woke up from 3 months of deep slumber.
Meet Manna, Minnie, Naya, and Cinderella. Some great names. They were a little sluggish at first, but they began exploring their woodland home.
Over the next week or so, they'll truly wake up.
Yeah, it's the perfect sign that spring is arriving.
While bears enter hibernation, a survival skill they've learned to preserve,
you need to persevere
when food availability is scarce every winter. We know
he's persevering over here. Goodness.
Yes.
Although food is plentiful here at the zoo, zookeepers say the bears are still driven by innate instincts to forage, and so the zoo adapts what they are fed to match their behavior. Wow, can you imagine getting 3 months to sleep?
I almost experienced
Here we go again
this.
with the sleep conversation. We talk about this every single day on the show.
There was one time, it was after I had done like marching band and drum corps for like the whole season, and I was very, very tired after it. I came back and I slept for like 2 days.
Wow.
Because I was just exhausted after exerting myself.
So you felt a little bit like a bear.
For 24/7. So yeah, I've had that experience.
Cool. Listen, that's good for you. You need some more sleep. Listen, we hope you've had a very good day so far. It's 11:50 now. Let's take a live look outside. Nick?
Very good day. Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network. Beautiful looking conditions down at Dauphin Island. A little bit of wind out there. A final look at the forecast, including a look at the beach coming up.
An arcade-style attraction is gaining lots of attention for its ability to grab the curiosities of a very specific customer base. Patrick Cornell shares this story in today's Take a Look at This.
A Missouri claw machine is gaining quite the reputation for snagging more than just prizes. A told-you-so moment for the siblings of its latest treasure seeker.
I saw the picture, I'm like, I knew Patrick was gonna get stuck in there.
Parents say 3-year-old Patrick slipped away and climbed inside the contraption in search of prizes, and boy does he look proud of his big adventure.
Patrick's reaction, like someone took a picture of him and he immediately just said cheese and posed for the camera, like unfazed that he was stuck in a machine.
No harm, no foul here. Patrick's dad quickly ended the fun, coaxing him out of the machine. If this feels like deja vu, less than a month ago, 2-year-old Cooper had a ball, crawling his way up inside the exact same machine. His escape didn't come as easily. The police department, fire department, and machine company came out to rescue the toddler, who got out unharmed, but definitely disappointed to leave the toy-filled fun. Firefighters say they're now very ready in case the claw machine strikes again.
This box was made so that if we had a situation like that again, then we could have these tools to access and just carry them all in.
How about something else bright and shiny, sure to capture the attention of toddlers and adults alike? That's a glass basketball court that changes with the touch of an iPad, showcasing team logos, advertisements, and doodles, if that's your thing. The Big 12 is debuting the high-tech sports surface for its men's and women's conference tournament in Kansas City. Reportedly, this will be the first time it's being used for an official competition here in America. For a Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That is insane.
Isn't that cool? But I wonder
awesome.
the tech issues that might happen the first game that, is played on
If
those
they
courts.
keep it simple, I think it'll be cool.
Yeah.
But
also, go KU, Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
okay. Final weather forecast here. It is beautiful outside from our Eastern Shore Toyota camera. Camera views here, part of the network. East-southeast wind at 15 miles per hour from 73 degrees at Orange Beach. We do have a moderate risk of rip currents out there today. Let's talk about your futurecast over the next 48 hours. You see temperatures that will be in the 60s overnight tonight, and then down into the lower 60s in some locations there by our Thursday morning. Fog seems extremely likely. Then as we go into the afternoon, partly cloudy skies with the slightest chance of a shower, around 20 to 30%. Friday morning, we have more fog in the forecast. Then by Friday afternoon, partly cloudy with an isolated rain shower. Your rainfall totals will not be very high, only around maybe a tenth, quarter of an inch at most. However, after this 7-day period, you see all that rain that's off to our west, those high rainfall totals. Eventually, that will come to us. A quick shout out to Friday. Friday, enhanced risks of severe weather for portions of the central United States. Those systems, again, do not get to us until the end of next week. So not this week, but next week. It looks like the pattern will come slightly more unsettled. You see a rain chance there around Wednesday, Thursday. It looks like a front will come through then. In the meantime, very, very isolated rain showers.
Nice and toasty all the way across the board there. We hope you are enjoying your Wednesday. We'll be back with Fox 10 Live at 3. We'll see you in a few hours from right now.